Blessings, everyone. It's time for the incoming wave forecast for this coming week. And we have a very special one this week in that we actually have two occurring simultaneously. I was actually guided upon wrapping up the first incoming wave layout to do another. And so here we are. As I always say, these incoming waves are not here today, gone tomorrow, and they're not reserved for any special one population. These are new dynamics, new elements of reality integrating into the entire collective experience. Some of us may have been feeling these energies a lot sooner than others. Some may be waking up to this towards the end of the week. Some people may not wake up to these things as quick as one might expect, and some may have already had these in their fields, already started integrating these experiences even as early as the end of the second week of May. I myself have been feeling these starting to integrate into my fields for a little bit here, but this is definitely going to be a new experience for even folks who might not necessarily be wide awake on their path. And this is something coming with much urgency to be discussed, or much urgency in the discussion from my higher levels. It's actually taking me a little bit of work to break to speak while also receiving. So, what is happening here as we integrate into this coming week? Let's talk about the left-hand spread first. The Emperor upright, the Hangman upright, the Strength card upright, all tell a story of the return of self and the return of the sovereign self, the return of the I am, the return of the sovereign soul incarnate. And this is a very powerful energy to have available to all people, all at the same time. Some of you may have already noticed, especially for those of us who've been on the path for decades, it's a lot easier for people to wake up and move forward and get to a place of adept ability or mastery than it was 20 years ago, which is fantastic. But with the Emperor card and the Hangman and the Strength card, we are now seeing the return of things that even those who are in their mastery may not necessarily know they have the opportunity to integrate. Because what I'm getting from this is that there are returns of soul sparks, return of lifetimes of intelligence, soul expressions. Yes, emphasis on even unlocking more preternatural and spiritual abilities, much as we talked about in the previous week's incoming wave. But what I find interesting about the Hangman involved in this with the Strength card is that we are integrating something into ourselves that is a part of us that has perhaps been stored away. Now, whether it was stored away in a cosmic vault, or perhaps this is actually a divine dispensation from our teams, our higher guidance, the higher levels, that remains to be seen. The most important thing to remember, though, is with the Emperor, is that it's happening. And with the Emperor card, we are seeing a way for people to step into even being able to finally visibly experience and comprehend their own power over their own reality, what they are co-creating. Less deference to the external. Less deference being given to external spiritual forces, external mundane forces, and people coming into a state of their own mastery and their own power. When we talk about reintegration of selfhood, reintegration of the higher levels, reintegration to embody all of who we are, all of our spiritual present, past, and future selves, we are talking about a complete change away from what we might be accustomed to existing as, which is absolutely something I look forward to. There is also a profound leap in the evolution of the spiritual consciousness on the entire planet, because I'm also seeing a redistribution of spiritual energy, a global soul retrieval, if you will, for those of you who are familiar with that term. The opportunity to recall in completeness fragmentations of the self, not just from moments in time in this incarnation, but all incarnations. Energies being returned to the self to be reintegrated, to be repurposed. I highly recommend that everybody take the time this week, or whenever you see this video, because again, this is not just for this week, we just see this starting to amp up this week. Recall your energies. Simply get into a state of mindful meditation, intensity and intention, and with that purpose and intent, call it back. I call back to myself, I recall to myself any and all energies that were either taken or stolen from me without my conscious, vocal consent. I recall to myself all energies and fragmentations of myself that were lost to time, instance, occurrence, and experience across all parallel realities, dimensions, and lifetimes past, seen and unseen. Allow yourself to come back to a state of complete spiritual wholeness. This will bring augmentation to your own gifts, or for those of you who are new, the revelation and a discovery of your own spiritual gifts, your own spiritual inclinations, strengths, turning on those abilities, those sensitivities to begin the mastery process. As we step in to discussing the other wave that is occurring, I don't want to say second because I don't want people to think I'm talking about something coming before and after. It's very simultaneous. We also have this big opportunity to jump timelines. In fact, I'm seeing with the Empress, the Judgment card, and the Justice card, we are seeing almost a rearrangement of timelines, of what you might call the through line, as I've mentioned before. For people who do not understand what I mean when I say through line, a through line is ultimately the story. It's the main plot, the main point, the primary road that was decided by the soul, the Oversoul, the I Am Presence to take during a lifetime. Now, sometimes we stay on that road the whole time, sometimes we veer off, sometimes we have our timelines maybe hijacked or get pulled off course very early on in our lives. There are many soul groups right now, they're getting a chance to jump back on a line that they did not have the chance to experience because of occurrences at a very early point in their life and development. But everyone is now getting a chance to feel a rehoming opportunity. The Justice card, the Judgment card, and the Empress card are rearranging a lot of connections, communities, individual expressions, as well as soul groups to now migrate and move all over when it comes to their path, their course, and their practice. These dismantling energies are ultimately being brought up to a boiling point so that these lower timelines can drop off, can crumble, can fall away. Many, until this year, have been living in timelines that are actually not theirs, in realities that don't actually belong to them, that do not belong to them. Many of them have been living in realities that are run according to another person's timeline, another culture's timeline, another person's reality experience, a family's reality experience, a religious reality experience, or maybe a political reality experience. But each soul expression has its own organic reality experience. And those which are matches will naturally merge together to enjoy that reality experience. The structures that held artificial timelines, artificial stories, or permitted that which is not a vibrational match to hold on to a reality or a timeline that ultimately was not a match or did not belong to it, are being destroyed. They are being destroyed and being brought up to be dismantled so that they can be cleared by the new. The Justice card upright, the Empress card upright, the Judgment card. We are seeing Paradise be the plow. We are seeing an opportunity for everyone to step into their own natural true expression, their own natural highest timeline. It's important to choose that with intent. Do not choose your life experience based on peer pressure, cultural pressure, default behavior, herd mentality, groupthink. Don't go there. Go within. Find your true center, your true self, and allow yourself to uncover that which has been maybe stored away, coming back into your power, calling back your energy, the energies you may have given away to those lower timelines, to those artificial reality experiences, another person's timeline, another person's reality experience, another group's reality experience, a cultural reality experience. Pull all of that back to yourself and watch yourself get migrated to a higher reality experience. Give yourself time to focus on what you would create if you had the power to create anything. Let go of old constructs. Let go of aspirations that were compromises you made to live in the world as it was. Give yourself your highest lifetime potential possible. Allow yourself to step into the highest timeline possible. Don't worry about capitulating to external pressures anymore. So that is what I've got for everybody. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please have a blessed, amplified, and beautiful week ahead. But don't forget, these waves are with us to stay. And if you ever want to get a session with me, go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com.